And if your pursuit is to get sober, if you're having the challenges I did, or if you've got other vices or habits you want to break, it starts with physical fitness.
I've been away from home for 10 months now, and unfortunately there's been a life-changing event that happened back at home. So I'm gonna make a flight back home, visit my family, see my client. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit behind the scenes back there. We're gonna go hit the motorcycle factory and enjoy our time back there. Come along for the journey.
Look, saint versus sinners, the poor versus riches, top ramen place versus 5-star dinners. Wonder why I fit in, the humblest beginnings. Had to take some losses before I saw my first winnings. Silver line grinning.
So I am not officially returning yet, but I had to get home and visit mom after some kind of a serious health issue. You know, it's a bit of a wild feeling getting back here. I've only been gone for 10 months, and there have been times I've been gone for years before, but it's a little bit surreal coming back to this place. You know, they call it the Wichita Vortex. It just always sucks you back, and there's something that scares me about this place. Every time I come here, I feel like I'm going to get stuck and my life won't progress. But now that I'm visiting, the Suburban's still out in California. I've still got more of this chapter of my story to write, so I am very grateful to come back and see my mom, see my client, get everything really in good shape for them, make sure we're making good money, and you know, I am going to enjoy sleeping in a bed, having a shower, having electricity, still be at the gym, still be following my nutrition. Not going to change any of that up one bit, but you know, it's kind of a surreal and hard to describe emotion I have right now. You know, we're about ready to go find them at the moment. Hello. Nope. Howdy, you're on camera. Hi.
So I just made it back to the West Coast here. You know, I would have liked to bring you guys along on a bit more of my time around home, but really that trip home wasn't about creating content for this part of the channel. I did shoot a vlog. I shot a bunch of important videos for my client. You can check out some of the clothing release over at bigdog.net or on the YouTube channel Big Dog is Back. Check me out there. But what I want to talk to you guys about is relationship with hometown. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit about mine, but I'm curious to hear about, you know, yours. As you hear this, let me know, is your hometown a place where you plan on always staying? Is it you know, where your roots are for several generations? Is it a place that you want to be gone from and never look back on, a place that you like to come and go from? You know, explain to me just a little bit about your relationship with your hometown. And let me tell you something interesting that I figured out about mine when I was there. So if you guys have been following me, a big part of this whole mission was to stop drinking. Today is day 333. Been successful, never going back. And it was really interesting. Something kind of came up at home that I didn't really think of or expect too much. So, you know, the time leading up to home, I was anxious to get back. I really needed to see my mom. There's been some health issues. You know, it was just, I'm overdue to see family. I love my family. And I'm really glad I got to go back and see them. And that's what I was the most anxious about. At the same time, it's like, you know, the trip home just snuck up on me. I used to fly a couple times a week for years. So, you know, I just kind of went back into the rhythm. Didn't check any luggage, zoomed right into the airport. I you know, could do that in my sleep. And got home, real happy to see the family. First couple days, it was just nice to have electricity, nice to have running water, safety and comfort, nice vehicles to use, anything I need. You know, I didn't have my vehicle there, I wasn't staying for long, but I've got all the hookups and resources I need for pretty much anything. Out here on the West Coast, I'm out here on my own. When things come up, I got to do what it takes to get through pretty challenging situations sometimes. Oh, what's up, puppy? Getting hit in the back of the foot by dogs here. So as I got home, after a few days, you know, I really didn't visit my friends. I was there to do work and to see my family. And I did actually edit a few videos and get some things released both here and shot for Big Dog. But after a few days, some of the old cravings came back. And I still do part-time food service here. I serve canned beer, I pour alcohol into margaritas. I'm around it all day, every day. I was at a different restaurant where I was with hard liquor, mixed drinks, and I never had any real major cravings that I can remember. But something about being back home in Wichita, Kansas just made the cravings for alcohol a lot stronger. And it's conditioning, it's years of habits, it's the fact that out here I can go out to the beach. The weather's perfect, I can park wherever I want. I can go up into the mountains, I can go on a quick trip under 100 miles and be in a completely different environment in any direction, 5 or 10 miles in any direction, and have a completely different atmosphere. And it's just not like that back at home. And for me, as much as I've always been trying to escape the matrix subconsciously, and I've had my own business, I've always had one foot back in the door when I've had to come back to real life when things don't work out, and just find some reliable income, find some comfort. And that place, it's one of the most affordable metropolitan areas in the country. Almost anybody can get by there. It's pretty hard to thrive there, though. It's pretty hard to really break free and upgrade your life. That place is for working families, working middle class families, and it can provide an amazing life that a lot of people would really want. But I'm a single guy. I don't want kids. I'm divorced. I don't want a girl. I've got a mission and a purpose. I can pursue those anywhere. And being back at home, it was just like, well, there's nothing in Wichita except for eating out and drinking. And I only eat healthy. I didn't even deviate from my nutrition when I was there. I was living off of, instead of yogurt and tuna like I do out here, it was yogurt and crock-potted chicken and beef. Same thing, just protein, fasting. Even when I went out to eat, had steak, eggs, cottage cheese, more protein. And I'm really fortunate that I'm in a position where I was able to separate myself from that environment, because battling vices and addictions, man, it's challenging. It was not easy for me to get to this point with alcohol, and I know that there are some people that are way more hooked on different things. I've seen people come out of meth. Surprisingly, I don't think a lot do. I know some people, I never knew them during meth. I've never been around it. And then recently, I do have a friend who would be wildly successful, but meth's got him. Meth and alcohol have him. And man, I'd love to see this guy get free, but I really don't know if he ever will. Environment, I think, can be very important, which is hard because not a lot of us have the ability to just escape the environment that we've been conditioned into our consumption, where we're seeking our escape. And that's been part of this whole thing about not playing video games, not watching Netflix, not having any escape, but to always be pursuing and building something, even if I don't know what it is. And I've kind of got it figured out now. So I don't know that I have great advice with this, more than I just want to really make the observation that our environment can make it challenging to break bad habits and addictions. And I think one of the most effective and valuable things I've found for getting away from that was to put myself in a situation of discomfort and to remove the escapes, remove the video games, remove the comfortable couch and the television. At the same time, it took me a couple years to figure out my vision and then figure out my purpose, and I'm just now starting down that path. And without that, man, it's got to be a rough one. Some people have kids is their purpose, but addiction can still get you, alcohol can still get you, even with kids that you love. So as you guys pursue this life and hopefully are coming along with me, pursuing the best version of yourself that you can be the most proud of, and eliminating all of the negatives, the vices, the bad habits, the things that prevent us from being the best version of ourselves. I hope you're conscious that maybe you need to escape some of your comforts, some of your escapes, some of the things you can rely on when life feels a little bit empty. And maybe that just means going to tea or coffee on the other side of town instead of to the neighborhood bar, or canceling cable service and watching podcasts that help you develop a skill set, focusing on a skill set instead of entertainment or TV or video games. But I do think that changing up your environment can be vitally important for pursuing the best version of yourself, even if it is just removing yourself from a group of people that you're around. 90% of the time, don't hang out with them, don't do the same stuff. For me, I've eliminated most people from my life. I wish I would have captured more of the struggle of the times when I was cold, in the rain, shivering in the middle of the winter with a broke down transmission, not knowing what the hell I was doing, but I just wouldn't stop. And sometimes that's just what you have to do. You just got to keep going, and things will start to figure themselves out. It's been less than a year that I've been on the road, and a little over 1,000 days since I started getting myself fit, slightly under a year since I quit drinking alcohol, not quite 90 days since I stopped smoking pot. And all these things are just adding up, they're compounding. And now, I know where I'm going to buy my land, and it's in Colorado. It's right next to my favorite hot springs. I even made a video about it. I shot it in probably like 2012. I think I edited it, put it out 2015, 2016. And I'm going to be 10 miles down the road from that. And I think it's probably my favorite place I've ever been to. If not, it's one of them. It's definitely one of the places I want to be able to spend a lot of my time. The land is under $10,000 with water, no ordinances. I can do whatever I want. 3 hours from the biggest city, but there are still towns within an hour. Pretty remote. But guess what? I'm going to be able to do this either with cash or with a little bit of creative family partnership, and I'm not going to be selling my soul to the bank for interest on money that they create out of thin air. Hours, days, years, weeks, years of my life I'm not giving away to a mortgage. And I'm going to get pretty good at doing things with my hands. I'm not terrible with them. I've always figured this stuff out. But I'm going to get a lot better. No matter what direction this story takes me at this point, I know it's going in a positive direction, and I'll keep stressing it to everybody over and over again. And being sober and being fit, those are eliminating the two biggest barriers to everything that you want to get out of your life. And for me, I couldn't get sober until I got into fitness. The gym was the lifesaver. I don't care what fitness it is, as long as you're pushing it, as long as you're intense, and as long as you're consistent and you don't miss the days that you say you're going to be in there. It might take a few years before you really start to understand how that pays off, but it will pay off. And if your pursuit is to get sober, if you're having the challenges I did, or if you've got other vices or habits you want to break, it starts with physical fitness. There's so many entrepreneurs now I watch that are so successful and growing fast, and fitness is always a part of it. All the people I admire are fit. And so I hope you guys have found your vision. I hope you're searching for your vision. If you found it, I hope you're pursuing it. If you're pursuing it, I really hope fitness and sobriety are a big part of that, because I know they will pay off. Let me know just a little bit about your experiences with your hometown guys. Let me know where you are in your journey, and I want to hear about your successes. I want to hear about your dreams and the direction you're going, and maybe tell me about the things that you think are preventing you from getting there and what it's going to take to get over them. Keep pursuing the best version of yourself, and remember, don't waste any time or energy on spending money on things you don't need, that don't make your life better. Don't waste time and energy on people that don't enhance your life. Don't waste time and energy on anything that doesn't, because those are your most valuable assets. And you should be moving towards your goals, your dreams, your vision. So don't waste any time or energy on anything that doesn't get you there.
If you're a man ready to make your comeback, join the Kombaxx community on Discord.